My name is Leo, and I'm a documentary filmmaker. My creative capital project is called Parachute Kids. It's a first-person, feature-length documentary essay that's currently in development stage. I was born and raised in Taiwan. At age 15, I was sent with my two younger siblings to the US while my parents stayed behind. My parents wanting us to have an American education and all the opportunities that would come with that. At first, we stayed with my uncle and his wife. Shortly after, they moved us out to an apartment, 3 teenagers without adults. My mother, who was supposed to live part-time with us and commute across the Pacific, became ill and passed away 2 years later. Soon, our visa expired, and we lived undocumented just when my brother and I were each struggling with our queer identity. My parents decided to do this to give us a brighter future, but none of us knew at the time that our family will be dealing with the repercussions from this decision for the rest of our lives. Our family was not alone. Since the 1980s, tens of thousands of parents from Taiwan, Hong Kong, South Korea, and most recently China have sent their teenagers to the US unaccompanied. Many did so to avoid mandatory military draft and the harshly competitive educational system. Some did to escape political instability, but all the parents had hoped that their kids will have better lives than they've had. The parents stayed behind to take advantage of the booming economy. Their children, commonly known as parachute kids, lived in the US without supervision and faced uncertain consequences. Using my family's struggle as the emotional core, then weaving in the story of other kids who also arrived in the US unaccompanied, Parachute Kids will explore these families' bittersweet pursuit of the American dream while contributing an unexpected perspective to the ongoing discussion over immigration in the US. Stylistically, the first-person exploration of my family story will anchor the film. I will speak on camera with my family, including my sister, who has settled in the US and started her own family, my brother, who was forced to return to Taiwan after suffering from a mental illness, and also my now 80-year-old father. Also my now 80-year-old father, who still feels responsible for sending us here in the first place. I will utilize the footage of myself and my family that I've collected over the years. I've also reached out to other parachute kids, many of whom my friends from high school, who will share with me their excitement as well as the confusion and loneliness they face in their immigration experience. I've directed 5 feature-length documentaries. My most recent film, Our Time Machine, just picked up a Best Cinematography Award at the Tribeca Film Festival. Thank you. Most of my work has relied heavily on the classical 3-act structure, but for this project, I want to challenge myself as a storyteller and utilize more idiosyncratic practices inspired by the deeply personal works of filmmakers like Patricio Guzman and Agnes Varda. One idea I'm playing with right now is to incorporate immigration documents into the storytelling, and here's a short clip that I want to share with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I hope this is loud enough, and I hope my eyes are not wandering too much, but this is really only a test, just a test.
Generally, a citizen of a foreign country who wishes to enter the United States must first obtain a visa, either a non-immigrant visa for a temporary stay or an immigrant visa for permanent residence. The visa allows a foreign citizen to travel to a U.S. port of entry and request permission of the U.S. immigration inspector to enter the United States. You may apply for naturalization when you meet all the requirements to become a U.S. citizen. General eligibility requirements are the following. 1. You are at least 18 years of age at the time of filing, except active duty members of the U.S. Armed Forces. 2. You are a permanent resident of the United States for a required period of time. 3. You have lived within a state or a USCIS district where you claim residence for at least 3 months prior to filing. 4. You have demonstrated physical presence within the United States for a required period of time. 5. You have demonstrated continuous residence for a required period of time. 6. You demonstrate good moral character. 7. You demonstrate an attachment to the principles and ideals of the U.S. Constitution. 8. You demonstrate a basic knowledge of U.S. history and government, as well as an ability to read, write, speak, and understand basic English. And 9. You take an oath of allegiance to the United States.
While my film will focus on the parachute kids' experience, I also want the film to connect to the broader experiences of other unaccompanied child immigrants in the history. This might include teenage Chinese laborers who came to build the Transcontinental Railroad in the 1800s, or the young Jewish refugees escaping Holocaust during World War II, and also the Central American kids who were separated from their parents on our southern borders today. I'm looking forward to integrating all these elements into a cohesive, stylistically compelling, and accessible piece of visual storytelling. I'm currently looking for development funding for the film, and also hoping to join some residencies where I can make time and space to push this project further. Thank you very much.